going to pray for those who have been kidnapped and are being tortured as we stand here. We've got pictures of Ugandans who were kidnapped last week, who were kidnapped yesterday. They are being tortured to death. Men are being raped in the death torture chambers. Men are being sodomized. And this is the Uganda under this junta, Museveni of Uganda. We take 2 minutes silence to pay our respect to Ugandans who have been murdered by this brutal dictator and dumped in swamps in the River Victoria. Some have been poured in the acid to dissolve their bodies, to destroy the evidence. And this is all. The crimes have been committed in Uganda, but the Ministry of Foreign Affairs mobs and sanitizes these crimes. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, he mobs away the crime. He sanitizes the place to make it look real. And this is happening under Salame. Salame has forgotten that his dad, he came to this country for good pastures. But Salame, he forgot about Africa. He forgot about Uganda, where we are being brutalized on daily basis. I would like to wear a nice suit like these 2 gentlemen in my face, but I can't do it because I'm still fighting for freedom in my country. I'm still fighting for human rights in Uganda. But we can't get these human rights unless the UK stop the financing, the supporting, and the training of militias from Uganda. These militias are so lethal that we don't want to believe that when you go to Sandhurst, the best military academy in the world, they are teaching you how to train, to torture, to rape. You know, this is the issue here. We need to find out what sort of training goes up in Sandhurst. We need the UK government to stop the training of military thugs. You call them soldiers from Uganda. Look at this one. Look at this mask. What do you expect? This is a soldier. The mask is bought by the UK government. The uniform is from here. The gun is holding here. Even and the helmet, they are all funded by the UK government. This cannot be a public servant because he's hiding his face. There's a reason why he's hiding his face. Because he's committing crimes against humanity. And he doesn't want his face to be known to the world. Because he knows when time will come, they are going to answer for the crimes they have committed in Uganda against Ugandans. People power.
Our power.
Our power. The £1 billion you sent to Uganda, you are funding our torture. You are funding our rape. You are funding our sodomization under this brutal dictator of Uganda, Museveni. 40 years is more than enough. Some of you, the officials from the Foreign Office, this man came to power before you were born. 40 years. How can you convince any Briton, any British, any citizen of this country that 40 years represents democracy? 40 years cannot represent democracy. 40 years represent dictatorship, torture, and repression. And that's why today we'll stand here. We don't know the whereabouts of the Minister for Foreign Affairs, but we hope that his officials can hear that a group of small Ugandans representing 47 suffering Ugandans in Uganda who cannot stand in the streets in Uganda and demonstrate against this junta, the brutal dictator of Uganda, whom the UK government is giving a £1 billion every year. That is your taxman and mine. We are calling on the UK government to stand the 47 million Ugandans who are suffering under this brutal dictator. We are asking for the Foreign Office, Mayor Mr. Lame, to put sanctions against the brutal dictator and his first family and officials who are so corrupt that even when you go to the only working referral hospital in Uganda, the cancer machine was donated by the UK government, but the cancer machine is out of service for the last 9 years. But the brutal dictator is the richest man in Africa at 13.5 billion pounds. But the UK still sends our money to help the junta to stay in power. In turn, what are they getting from Uganda? Gold on the cheap, minerals on the cheap. What can I say live? Petrol is being shipped out of Uganda at the lowest price than in Russia. This is all to do because of the junta in Uganda. There is no accountability of what the UK is sending to Uganda, and there is no accountability of what the UK is taking from Uganda. That is the double standard of the UK government. That is the double standard under this present leadership of Labour government, under Mr. Keir Starmer. We thought in Keir Starmer we'll have freedom in Uganda. We thought that under Lame, the Foreign Secretary, peace will come to Uganda. But it all was lie, false promises. Uganda, when we come to power, we as the Labour, we are going to put economic sanctions, Agaisnt law against the brutal dictator. This wasn't to be true. They've gone for business on our lives. They've gone for gold on the lives of Ugandans. They've gone for petrol on the lives of Ugandan women and children. They've gone for all the natural resources from Uganda being shipped over to here with no accountability because they are serving the brutal dictator Museveni of Uganda. That is it. We are calling on the UK government, the Foreign Office, to stop the training. Our problem is the training of militias from Uganda. When they go back, they are torturing Ugandans to death. We have posters here. This is not science fiction. This is real. Ugandans are being tortured. Men are being sodomized as we stand here. Women are being raped in Uganda. Children don't go to school in Uganda. One of the best countries in Africa. One of the richest countries in Africa. But it's looking like a failed state under the 40-year rule of the junta, Museveni of Uganda. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
We are wearing t-shirts here. These t-shirts we are wearing today, these are our brothers and sisters who have been kidnapped from the streets in Uganda and taken to unknown places, which we call death torture chambers, where men and women are being tortured to death, whereby women are being raped, men are being sodomized under this brutal regime. Mr. Lame, we are calling on you. A promise is a date. But for Mr. Lame, now is a rich boy. The Minister of Foreign Affairs is dining with the rich. He has given up on Uganda because they are carrying out dodgy businesses with the brutal dictator Museveni of Uganda. People power.
Our power.
Our power. NUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Thank you for listening.
Good evening, good afternoon, just about good afternoon. We are Ugandans, we are Ugandan community living abroad. And why we are here is to bring the plight of Ugandans who are being murdered every day by the junta in Uganda, the junta Museveni, who has been in power for 40 years. The people you see here wearing the red beret symbolizes the torture and the blood our people have shed. The t-shirts we are wearing are t-shirts representing the dead and those still nursing wounds from the commander-in-chief, who is the son to the junta in Uganda. The two, one the son and another one is the father, have killed Ugandans in the last 40 years. I'll talk about the son to the junta of Uganda, the dictator Museveni. In 1993, the junta's son, Muhoozi, came to UK to study in one of your universities, Nottingham. He failed in the first 3 weeks and he was let to go. I was doing my first degree then. So that's how dense you sponsor somebody. He went on to go to Sandhurst and he's picked up skills that torture and kill and maim Ugandans. Why we the Ugandans are here is to tell you, stop UK funding for death. You've trained the army that kills Ugandans. You've done much evil. Museveni has done a lot of evil that we, if compared with Idi Amin, it makes Idi Amin an angel. This doesn't sound right, but Museveni has killed more Ugandans than any other leader. He's been in power for 40 years. The son represents murder. He's killed a lot of us. He's done, maimed, castrated, done worse evil than I can say here. I want to polish up my language. I would have said so. Museveni of Uganda has killed, corruption is the password in Uganda. He embezzles money. He is helped by the UK Parliament. In the House of Lords is a fake bishop called Bishop Sentamu, who is behind the racketeering of money from Uganda to here. Then he is aided by Lord Puppet and fake Bishop Sentamu. Both are behind stealing grants from UK, which are sent to Uganda. Then the dictator in Uganda siphons the money back to UK. Well, while we are here, we are not asking for funds. We want you to do the best intervention to stop funding the dictator. Stop funding the dictator. We as the opposition, we who want to take down the dictator of Uganda, Museveni, can do that. If you thought Putin was in power, has been in power for 22 years, our dictator has been in power for 40 years. He has won elections, which we call selections, 6 times. And in January next year, he's winning another 7th time. He's no different from the man from Belarus. He's no different from the man in Russia. All we hear of is Belarus is bad, Putin is bad. You never talk about the junta in Uganda, Museveni. He's murdered more people than Putin. Yet the papers, the BBC, the media, the Sky News never talks about him. If they do talk about Uganda, it's an elephant has given to 2 babies. A giraffe climbed a tree. That's the only news you get to see here. You never hear about Uganda. A lion has killed tourists. Why do you put animal rights before human rights? You don't care an inch. We are people. He's killed us. We are shouting from the rooftop, telling you, stop funding. You don't have to give those funds to us. We are well resourced in Uganda. People you see here are doctors, engineers, professors, lawyers. We make a good clique that can develop Uganda. Uganda is a failed state. There is no institutions. The institutions that are there seem like a monarchy. The president, the junta in Uganda is the president. His son is the commander-in-chief. His brother is the minister of defense. The wife is minister of education. All the daughters are ministers. and we have a small monarchy. For 40 years, the junta in Uganda has gone unhindered. Come fast forward, we thought Labour came to power so they would get to stop the human rights abuse. Knowing that Stama is a lawyer who specializes in human rights. But Stama has done worse than Boris. He's business as usual. He works on gold mining and other precious minerals. The only thing they do is to pat the dictator. Come on, keep going. The dictator has killed us. He's murdered us. He's castrated. He's killed women. He's killed sons. He's killed daughters. And he's still killing. And UK keeps funding him £1 billion every year and trains the army that kills us. He's killed us all the time. We've shouted, we've done this in Brussels, we've done this in the United States. Nobody is listening. Stop funding our death. You sponsor our death. You pay the boots that kick us. You pay for the guns that shoot us. Stop funding. We don't want any intervention other than stop facilitating our death. NUP everywhere. NUP everywhere. Kunga Uganda. Kunga Uganda. Kunga Uganda. NUP everywhere. Thank you for listening.
Yes, my dear tourists who are enjoying the life in the UK. I wish this was Uganda.
Who in Uganda? I'm on Saudi.
But in Uganda, I am being murdered on daily basis. We are we used to get that the Americans are using techniques against human rights. One of them is waterboarding. Now this is a common thing in Uganda. The t-shirt I'm wearing is one of the by the name of Demostrate. He was kidnapped 10 days back. And the torture has gone through. Waterboarding is one of them. That is Uganda. That is from Sandhurst. The reason why I said from Sandhurst is because the CDF, the commander of the Uganda forces, he was trained in Sandhurst. And it was him and his men who tortured Demostrate in his bunker, underneath his mansion. This is the country. These are the people you are supporting, you are training, you are financing a brutal dictator, Museveni of Uganda. We will stand here and expose. This is one of them. The murderers in Uganda. Sandhurst trained is now a monster in Uganda. W. Christophe. When we talk about W. Christophe, we are talking about Muhoozi. It's a clique of bandits who have been trained in Sandhurst in the UK. They've been trained to torture Ugandans. They've been trained to rape Ugandans. They've been trained to kidnap Ugandans. They've been trained to sodomize Ugandans. And these are all trained in the UK. And
you don't have to stand in the same place with the flag.
And we are calling
Good.
the UK government to stop the training of military thugs, of military soldiers from Uganda. Because as we stand here, we've got Ugandans who are being tortured in the so-called safe house, what we call death torture chambers. These are underground bunkers. We used to hear this during the First and Second World War under Hitler. now is happening in Uganda under the junta. Museveni, a 40-year-old ruler, a junta who has been in power for 40 years now. Most of you were not born, and this brutal man is still in Uganda, brutalizing Ugandans, while the UK sends £1 billion to support the same dictator. You can't play double standards. You talk about democracy and human rights, and you are supporting a brutal dictator, a junta, Museveni of Uganda. 40 years is more than enough. You can't call 40 years democracy. In the UK we've changed 13 prime ministers. In America we've changed 7 presidents. But in Uganda we are still living under the same brutal dictator, Museveni, the junta of Uganda. The UK government should be ashamed when they talk about human rights. The UK should be ashamed when they talk about democracy. While they are supporting brutal dictators around the world, mainly in Africa and most in Uganda. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
NUP.
We are professionals. We do work. We pay our tax. But I wouldn't like my tax money to be sent to Uganda to torture Ugandans. My tax money should stay in the UK. That £1 billion the UK government sent to Uganda should be helping us on housing. They should be helping our policemen to get a good wage.
Don't talk.
Than to be on minimum wage. People power. Our power. We've just started today and we'll be calling particular Mr. Lavin, a man who has gone against his promise to Ugandans that when Labour come to power, they were going to deal with the brutal dictator Uganda, Museveni of Uganda. They ruled Labour, knocking on my vote. I thought by voting Labour and get justice. I've been a conservative all my life. But the last elections, I thought, let me change. Let me see if Labour can get up this brutal dictator from Uganda. At least the conservative did something against this brutal dictator of Uganda. They sanctioned the Speaker of Parliament and 2 junior ministers, unlike the Labour government under Keir Starmer. It's all normal. They have been the dealing. They have been the signing. Get the business deal. Gold for Ugandan life. Petrol for the rating of Ugandans. They are taking all your resources with no accountability. Before they are supporting a brutal dictator, when they give £1 billion with no accountability. So it's normal for the two, the UK government, to send £1 billion to the dictator in Uganda every year. And in return, the UK government is robbing the natural resources of Uganda. It's true, because I look at me in a suit. You are training murderers in Uganda. This man is a third-hand friend. You call it a military personnel, or we call it a military star. A man who is a brutal monster right now in Uganda. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
The t-shirts I'm wearing, these are all our police who have been missing. Some are 5 years. They have not been seen. They were kidnapped by the government militia officials after the election. They are missing. Missing. Here. This is not science fiction. This is your life in Uganda. Under this brutal dictatorship, a of Uganda. They are bailing him out with £1 billion every year. For the last 40 years, you have 40 billion have been sent to Uganda. But in the same Uganda, we don't have a functioning hospital where the so-called officials from the government of the junta, they come to the UK for medical tourism. But every year, the UK government is paying $1 billion. It's only in Uganda where we don't have hospitals, but we've got prisons. It's only in Uganda where we don't have ambulances, but we've got thousands and thousands of military patrol cars. It's only in Uganda where Ugandans cannot afford a 1 paracetamol, but the UK can ship arms and shipments of tear gas plus bullets. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
AUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
AUP.
We are here to call on the UK government, the Foreign Secretary Army, to call for immediate release of all the innocent and the political prisoners who have been kidnapped under this junta. We've got Ugandans in Lutia prison for the last 18 years. They've never been brought to court.
4 years.
18 years. Someone is languishing in a prison in Uganda.
15 years.
This is under this brutal dictator Museveni of Uganda. 5 years. We've got our brothers missing. Their children, their women, their families are asking where are the loved ones. The loved ones, those who are active, they are being tortured, they are being raped, they are being sodomized, and the unlucky ones, they were dumped in the river Nile. They were dumped in forests. Some of them were fed to the crocodile to destroy evidence. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP.
Everywhere. NUP.
Let's try for you to take over. We are here. People power. People power.
Our power.
The junta, President Museveni of Uganda, appointed the President of Muhoozi. You can support the junta in trade. It's not fair. And it's so hypocritical to continuously support a dictator. Our government stop dividends and killing Ugandans. Also political prisoners. Demostrate was arrested a week ago, and the son of the dictator was tweeting. And it's so hypocritical that the UK is still dealing with such a government. When the UK government saw it on Twitter, that the junta's son was tweeting saying that he was teaching him his own language. He was boasting how he's going to kill him. He cut off his hair. He shaved off his beard. And he was finding it funny. He was tweeting. The UK saw it. The BBC News spoke about it. CNN, Al Jazeera. But the most painful part is the UK continues to send money to Uganda. Regardless of the fact that we've shown the UK how many people get killed every single day. Not just by natural calamity, but Ugandans are being killed. Opposition members are being arrested simply because they do not agree with the junta. Why the UK continuously support? This is why we're here. We're British citizens, most of us here, and we're taxpayers.
continue arrested, and now he's in prison after he was tortured for a week. And the son of the dictator wrote it on Twitter. Then the UK surprises us or mesmerizes us or confuses us when they continuously pay money to Uganda through aid. But that's not aid, we know, that's trade. And it's so bloody hypocritical. The UK needs to stop hypocrisy because they're giving money to a dictator. They continuously lie that they're doing trade. Sorry, aid. It's not aid. We know it's trade. They lie that they believe in human rights. But Agaisnt was arrested. The BBC reported about it. UK BBC. But Agaisnt was not taken to hospital. He was taken to prison. This is why we call upon the UK that Agaisnt needs hospital, not prison. He was tortured for a week. He was beaten. He was literally, he couldn't walk. He was limping on his legs. But then it surprises that the UK, after reporting, they got money and sent it to Uganda. Isn't that hypocrisy? The UK government must stop this nonsense. We are saying it loud and clear. It's about time we're going to have this conversation. For once and for all, we're going to have this conversation. Loud and clear. The UK are part of the problem of Uganda. Because you colonized us. Because you continuously have business between UK and Uganda. You, in one way or the other, support the dictator. Yes. You supply him with guns. Yes. You supply him with manpower. Grenades. You supply him with grenades. You give him tear gas. You're giving him the money he uses to arrest Ugandans. Yes. Why don't you stop? How many times do you want us to explain this to you? The son of the dictator last week wrote on his Twitter that he arrested Agaisnt and he's going to beat him. The BBC reported about it. Al Jazeera reported about it. CNN reported about it. The UK got money and said they're helping Uganda. Fuck off. Stop. This needs to stop.
People, power.
Our power.
You know, today we are not here to stop good words. Sometimes, when you squeeze the nose too much, it bleeds. And I won't condemn my colleague, the last word she used. Because really, David Lamy owes me a lot. I paid school fees for the Foreign Secretary. To pay tuition fee. The Foreign Secretary, you owe me. I hated you. You started on your own. Your dad was a rich man. Your people got down. That was still the same thing. He was being paid for being empty. It's because of that class that I come from. Now he thinks that Patton never mattered. He thinks that he was going to Chelsea or Kensington. I've not left in London Victoria. Sometimes I said, yes, now. Yes, someone set out him by voting Labour. I'm original conservative. But I thought by voting Labour to power, they'll make a change in Uganda without knowing that the conservatives were better than Labour under Mr. Tiastama and the Foreign Secretary, David Lamy. They've taken the lives of Ugandans, they lied. They've taken the lives of Ugandans for gold. They've taken the lives of Ugandans for petrol. Just because of their personal interest in Uganda. They've turned against their own word. Respect of human rights and democracy should prevail around the world. We have human rights in the UK. We have democracy in the UK. Why not in Uganda? Why do you still have to support the brutal dictator who has been in power for 40 years before you were born, madam? You are still supporting him financially, militarily, and politically. This is the goal of yesterday. Museveni does not represent the future of Uganda. We have people like President Chagulanyi Sentamu. Yes! When the junta rose up for our victory. These are the future of Uganda. Not Museveni. Museveni is the man of
that was nice.
when we talk about
It is a crime scene.
Museveni
And
they cannot be the top of Uganda because they have tortured Uganda, they have sodomized Uganda in form of torture, they have killed Uganda in order to silence.
Bakogere nti mutwani wankuwa dictator yapushinze pistol behind.
Not to say that human rights in Uganda are being abused. Not to say that 40 years is more than enough. You can't call 40 years in power democracy. It doesn't even represent human rights. We are calling on the UK government to stand with the 47 million Ugandans who are suffering under this brutal dictator, Museveni of Uganda. We are calling on the UK government really to stop the training. We are calling about the training of military staff. This is one of them. A study has trained military personnel who went to the best military academy in the world. When he went back to Uganda, he has done a monster. He's in charge of those who are torturing Ugandans. Damina Christopher and Muhoozi Kanyerugaba, they are both that trained. They were trained in the UK to go back to Uganda and torture Ugandans. They were trained in the UK. They are using the waterboarding techniques which the Americans were using in Guantanamo Bay against the terrorists. Ugandans have never been terrorists. Why are we being waterboarded by the trained officials, so-called officials from the UK? That's why we are condemning that the UK should stand with the 47 million suffering Ugandans in condemning the human rights abuses in Uganda. Not to be selling tear gas to Uganda. Not to be selling arms to Uganda. Not to be selling military patrol cars, which are to kidnap our people.
Business is in Namani. Baba yagala okujjako wa Syria tebamujjako.
One of our colleagues. Good evening, everybody. The people you see here are Ugandans living in the UK, working. They're working class from a variety of walks of life. Some are doctors, some in hospital, and make the hospital team. All have lived in this country for 35 years. I see people.
How is only akulira people power.
My thinking is
bamuyita Li Oliemu.
That's the best intervention you can do for us. We can take him on. We are strong. We are well resourced. Resourceful means the people you see here are doctors, nurses, lawyers, engineers. We can do a lot. We are well resourced. Resource human-wise and funding. Don't ever try to go for tourism in Uganda. That's all the time you hear the news. 5 tourists killed. But when they get the opposition leaders like me with the beret, we are put in jail. And what happens? The dictator's son, Muhoozi, the dictator's son, who is the chief of defense forces, trained in UK in Sandhurst, skilled with the skills of
Good genetry opposite. Commonwealth here, one over with teaching.
have trained him to kill men.
That's not. This Commonwealth or this one? Which one is Commonwealth? This one.
Some of the things that the photographs are on display here. This dictator of Uganda, his son, Museveni,
Church.
has done things you will never believe that he done for anybody. His thought it was bad, but the dictator of Uganda is worse. All he has is well fed. The dictator of Uganda in the House of Commons and in the House of Lords, he is well represented. In the House of Lords, he has no puppet of Indian origin from Uganda. He does all the soliciting for funds. And there is the first bishop who was one time the bishop of England, Bishop Senkamu. These people use soliciting and we ensure the dictator gets the funds. Why am I saying this? Some for our mother. The people you see here in one t-shirt, every face on the t-shirt has been murdered, either languished in jail, or dead, or fed the crocodiles. This has been going on and on and on. Don't expect we are paupers. We are not asking for enough funds. We don't want the money. Stop funding the dictator. We can take people. We can take people. We need some who has murdered us.
Museveni mani mutana kisiru jenna nabyeka kulinga Museveni kigamba twali muntu ayinza kunzirira mu bigero okujjako mutabani wange yasobola oyika okugenze gundi ne banowulira bagashuula nowulira kyana kibebeku noyagala okikuba of course kyekyo lwakiba n'empuuga bonna si baganda ye ate nga waliyo abanyarwanda bategera n'okusinga bebeku tebanange mpitira edda nga tetumanyi edda nga waliwo omusajja yali asula ku boys quarter za muzeeyi wange nga bamuyita kalanzi gayono nga tetumanyi nti be banyarwanda baŋŋamba nti omusajja oyo bw'omulaba kati is not a millionaire be baali omwo abajjanga batubabega babega negamba tulimujjukira akasajja ako bannange nga tukakwate kyekyo lwaki ASP agamba bannange buli omu apuleyinge gundi apuleyinge tape ojja kulaba waliwo omunyarwanda mu family.
You've only done enough damage to us. You provided and facilitated the military. The picture you see here is one of the commanders who has killed people. Christopher W. is behind the murders and the torture of Ugandans. And the son somewhere here is behind the murders of Ugandans. The people you see here in the red beret are not unprofessional. We have jobs to do. We are professional. We are unprofessional, semi-professional. We don't do the jobs. But we've sacrificed time to come and tell you to stop paying for the dictator. We are asking Lame, stop
everywhere.
Kunga Uganda.
Kunga.
Kunga
Kunga.
Uganda.
Kunga.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Thank you for listening.
Jjukira Bambi nga Kyagulanyi yakatandika. Our power. Our power. Our power.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Our purpose of standing here today is to speak to the UK to stop hypocrisy. I'm going to sing this because they're playing that. They say one thing and do the other. They say they believe in human rights, but sponsor people who are abusing human rights. They say that they believe in everyone and everybody, but they do different things altogether. The UK has been part of the problem of Uganda for 40 years. They have been deceiving to us that they're giving aid to Uganda through charity. But that is a lie. They're trading and they're getting something from Africa. When they bring it back here, they leave the dictators to kill Africans. That is wrong. I repeat, that is wrong. Last week, Dictator 7 tweeted on a public domain on X and say that he was going to Agaisnt, and he had him in his house and touching him. He did that for a week. The BBC News of the UK reported that news. But unfortunately, to my dismay, Agaisnt was taken to prison rather than being taken to hospital after being tortured. Then the UK, rather than saying, no, this must stop, they patted Museveni on the shoulder and probably said, well, job well done, by sending money to Uganda for aid. That is not aid. That is trade. And the UK must stop. We are not begging you. We are saying it is only right that the UK stop trading with dictator Museveni. It's been 40 years. Come on! I have lived in the UK for 26 years and we've had almost 6 prime ministers. And 40 years we still have the same president. And the UK are doing business with the same president. What the hell are you guys telling me that you're not being hypocritical? You are being part of the criminals. No, I'm not going to be quiet. I'm going to say this for once and for all. If they want to come and arrest me, so be it. If they want to give me a bloody criminal record, so please do. But I have the proof. I've given the UK the proof, and they keep a deaf, blaming ear. So we're not going to have to speak about it. It's about time we talk about it for once and for all. They are hypocrites. They are the ones sponsoring him. They give him the money. They train the soldiers in Sandhurst. I'll pay the taxes for the junta's people to come here, get trained, go back to Uganda, and kill us. Why don't I talk about it? I have been trained to talk about things, so I can't be quiet. This must stop. Agaisnt must be in hospital. Where should Agaisnt be? Hospital. Where should Agaisnt be? Hospital. Where should Agaisnt be? Hospital. Where is he now? Where is he now? Where is Agaisnt? Where should he be? Where should Agaisnt be? Why is he in prison and the UK is quiet?
Yes.
Somebody is going to wonder, what has the UK got to do with Uganda? The UK colonized us.
Yes.
And they have direct business with Uganda.
Yes.
And they sponsor Uganda through blaming trade and call it charity.
Yes.
And they lend money to Uganda.
Yes.
This is why you're caught up in this kerfuffle, in one way or the other.
Yes.
So what do we have to talk about now is UK stop sponsoring the dictator. Simple Stop sponsoring the dictator. Stop sponsoring the dictator. They make us stop sponsoring the dictator. Enough is enough. Museveni must go. Where's Demostrate? Where's Achille? Where's Gaddafi? Where's bobiwine? Where's Machete? Why are they in prison? Because they oppose the dictator.
Yes.
Why is Demostrate in prison? In prison. Where should Demostrate be? Where should Demostrate be? Demostrate must be in hospital, not in prison.
Yes.
For as long as Demostrate is in prison, we Ugandans were going to be here all the time.
Yes.
Until he gets released and given medical care he needs.
Thank you.
This is not right. After he's been tortured, he's taken to prison. And said, is that? Come on, UK. Demostrate was tortured for a week. The son of Museveni, the president, tweeted. The junta's son was boasting about it. And after he had been tortured for a week, he was sent off to prison to torture him more. They want him dead. They killed MP Sekirinya. And now they want Demostrate. Why? Why sponsor this nonsense? Why do you continuously get entangled in such nonsense, unfairness?
People power. Our power. We are here to ask the foreign secretary impose sanctions under the Agaisnt law, whereby the brutal dictator Museveni, the junta of Uganda, his ministers, his children, his friends, they see out in the UK and around the world. Museveni is the richest man in Africa at $13.5 billion. The UK long stay the brutal dictator of Uganda. The junta has been in power before all of you are born. For the years of dictatorship in Uganda, for the years of torture in Uganda, where women have been raped, men have been sodomized, we are calling the UK government to impose sanctions against this brutal dictator. It can't be business as usual. While Ugandans have been tortured, men have been sodomized, yes. Women have been raped. Ugandans have been kidnapped with the help of the UK government. Yes, I said so. You are armed. You send to Uganda. The military Pakistan. You send to Uganda. The tear gas. Blinding your people in Uganda. The ammunitions in Uganda. We don't want ammunitions in Uganda. We don't want prisons in Uganda. We want schools in Uganda. Yes. We don't want desperate chambers where men and women have been tortured to death. We want hospitals. Yes. Another funny part of it. The government officials from the junta's government come to the UK for medical tourism. Yes. St. Thomas across the road. Yes. Pick their children. Their children. They are in class, training to become rapists in Uganda. Zanhat is training murderers. Zanhat, the best military academy in the world, He's training people how to torture, how to waterboard. We used to hear this in Guantanamo Bay when the Americans were using this technique of waterboarding. Now it's the technique which is being used in Uganda with the help of the UK government. This is a government official hiding his face. If you're a soldier, a major, a captain, a policeman, why do you need to disguise yourself by wearing a mask? By hiding your face, that means that you're committing crimes against humanity and you don't want your face to be seen. Because we believe that one day, when Uganda is free, all these criminals will be brought to justice. But under the present dictatorship, there is no justice in Uganda. There is no rule of law in Uganda. The civilians are being tried in military court. Yes. Women are being tortured under this junta rule. 40 years is more than enough. Yes. Museveni must go. Museveni must go. We call on you to stop the funding, the financing, the promoting, the training of military staff from Uganda. Yes. Because we don't want to believe that Sandhurst, when you got Sandhurst to train as a soldier, they are training you how to torture. But my thing is one of the techniques, the training technique. We are asking ourselves as Ugandans, why all those Sandhurst trained military staff, when they go back to Uganda, they are involved in the torturing of Uganda. Yes. People power.
Our power. People power. Everywhere. NUP.
Thank you. Hello. UK. We are for people power supporters. People power stands for the power of the people, elected by the people, to be governed by the people. But there are some people who are abusing this word. What are we doing here on the streets in London? We are here on the Foreign Commonwealth Development Office. I tell you what, I think you better change the name to Foreign Selective Wealth, because it's becoming a selective. They pick and choose where to help. The Commonwealth, Uganda is part of the Commonwealth. Uganda has got stake in the Commonwealth. But I'm saying a pick and choose scenario here. It's selective. People of Uganda are suffering. Believe me, they are literally suffering. All the placards you see here, all the banners you see here.
Nze nkugambye nasekanga bwe ndawuliranga ebya Nigeria. Nigeria abantu bayinza okuba balibanga batyo. Oh my God. Ekyaffe kiri worse than Nigeria ndowooza.
Foreign Secretary, Mr. Lani, you well know you should know better than anybody else. With your background, you should know better. Ladies and gentlemen, we might be making noises here, but we got a message to say across. We have responsibility. We have families. We have friends. Our families, most of the big numbers, are back home in Uganda. But guess what? We can't go back home because there's a big monster in the room. And the monster we're talking about is none other than the imposter. And listen to me right, the imposter is the president's office. There is an imposter in the president's office.
Junta's office. Junta, not president. He can't be a president.
You people are dealing with an imposter. The elected president of Uganda, and listen to me right, he's the one elected, Robert Sentamu denied his office because of the imposter. And the shame is there are some foreign interests who are still dealing with this dictator. Unfortunately, UK is one of them.
Shame! Shame, UK!
Shame on you.
Shame on you!
UK is the mother of democracy. What happened? Yesterday, just to remind you, we were celebrating the D-Day, 8 years of freedom from the Nazi Germany. 8 years, we're still celebrating. That is the feeling of freedom. Do you think freedom is just designated for the United Kingdom? No! The whole world needs freedom. All of you listening to us today, let me tell you one thing, ladies and gentlemen. We've been here long enough. It's time we went back home. But when are we going to go back home? When there's a monster killing, raping, kidnapping, conniving, literally sucking human blood in Uganda as we speak. We're all Ugandans. And we're telling you the truth because we come from Uganda. Whether you want to listen to it or not. We are begging the United Kingdom, please, stop dealing with these tyrants, these dictators. You are accumulating debt for Uganda. This one is going to be long gone. He's well beyond sell by debt. He's over 80 years. He's a waste of space, literally wasting Ugandans' hard-earned money, taxes. And not only Ugandans in Uganda, but even we here in the UK. That's why we're so angry. When we're trying to solve a problem, but then somebody is fueling our problem. And who is fueling the problem? UK, the United Kingdom. There are so many other interests. Our interest today is the United Kingdom. We kindly beg you, listen to us. If you've got a minute, come out and talk to us. Don't think you're just wasting time, making noises. We have a message to pass across. We are tired of people supporting our culture, of people who are fueling the killings in Uganda. We have all around the world, so many troubles around the world today. But ladies and gentlemen, we're here to talk about Uganda because that's our motherland. Some of us have been away for so long, we yearn to go back home. Guess what? Did anybody find out why the UK pressed the button of Brexit? Did you ever sit down and work it out? I want to tell you one thing that you should know. It was, believe me, whether you like it or not, the issue was immigration. The UK has had enough of immigrants. And I'm telling you one thing. I'm a foreigner, but a taxpayer. But I don't like what I'm seeing. Because it's high time we went back home. But we're trying our best. We're trying our best to change the status quo in Uganda. And somebody is conniving behind the wall, Lady Foreign Secretary, pretty material, Sooner government, these are the rotten agents in the UK government dealing with these dictators. When are you going to sit back, look in the mirror, and ask yourself, are we doing the right thing to deny Ugandans their freedom? You gave us independence in 1962, but believe me,
ekyo gye bagenda ne bamalayo wiiki emu ne bajja ne bamalawo emyezi 11 n'ekitundu. What kind of life is that? Those people are naive and silly.
So where are you to check on what you left there?
This is their first home. N'ebyo ebiyumba bye batasulamu abasinga bafiiridde mu mayumba wano nga bazimbye ebiyumba.
Because we want to pass a message. Like I say, the man in the office of the president is an imposter. And I repeat this. The man in the office of the president is an imposter. Any dealings with the imposter Museveni is up to you. Don't put the blame on Ugandans. Don't put the blame on the British taxpayers. The innocent taxpayers don't know what's going on. The cost of living is sky high on the streets in London today, in the whole of UK. Do you know why? Millions are being shot around the world to these monsters. They are living a luxurious life and we are struggling here. What language do you want us to use? How can we pass the message across? How long is it going to go on? Stop the brown envelope. Stop feeding these dictators. Because whatever business you carry out with these dictators is displacing the people around the world. Britain, you have
kino kyeyagala kirabika oba kino.
Unfortunately, you were an empire at one time. What happened? Now you got problems coming up from India and Pakistan. You have problems creeping up every day. When are we going to prioritize? We are struggling, we are fighting our own battle here. We are fighting our own war. But we would like you to help us to stop the support you're giving them, to condemn the activities that are going on in Uganda, the atrocities that are happening in Uganda. Your silence, and I repeat this, your silence is a sign that you are supporting what's going on. Silence does not justify. Silence is conniving with the atrocities that are happening in Uganda. So we kindly beg you, calm down, let's have a normal dialogue. The new elected president, Robert Chagulanyi, bobiwine,
Yay!
agile, ready to listen, very flexible. I know you call Museveni your ally. What a shame you people. I don't understand you. What kind of ally is he? An 80-year-old man wasted, sell by that gun, and if you call him an ally, somebody who's killing people, somebody who's flooding the UK streets with more immigrants. That is what you call an ally. That is what you call an ally. Proper rotten capitalism. What a shame. Divide and rule, yes. Divide and rule. How long are we going to carry on with this? The world has moved on now. The world is well informed. The world is well educated now. It's a matter of sitting down, having no civilized dialogue, and find what are we got on the table. And conniving with somebody who feeds your interests. But your interests, and I repeat, your interests are suffocating the lives of Ugandans, the lives around the world. But today we are talking about specifically Uganda. We kindly beg you. We are not going to beg for money. We are requesting for a dialogue. Have a dialogue with our elected president. Talk to him. Find out what is needed for the Ugandans. You're not going to get a genuine answer from an imposter in office. Because it's been there long enough. He's failed to deliver. But the sooner you get this done, the better for Uganda. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
Everywhere.
AVP.
Thank you, everyone.
Kumba Uganda.
I think we are going to have some little music to cheer us on the things people are really upset about the UK saying Yaman is the brutal dictator in Uganda. Thank you.